Well, happy FOBruary, everybody, and welcome to 155, a podcast that for this month is about everyone's favorite punk band, Fall Out Boy. My name's Josiah
I feel like
Hughes.
that was some heavy editorializing, even just in your tone. Can we at least try to start off?
I can't even just be nice and not have you think that I'm being ironic.
You pronounced the dick fingers as you said punk, like you were, like some sort of high school gatekeeper.
Well, I feel like there are, ever since we've announced that it's February. Sorry, I'm choking because I don't have enough kombucha, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, there's a lot going on in terms of your. We're gonna have to get into sort of all the liquids on your side.
I'm already being gatekept just from announcing that it's Fall Out Boy month. Some punks are complaining to me about how bad of an idea this is. Well, guess what? The whole damn thing is a bad idea. So
this podcast is a bad. Like, at what point were you like, this punk podcast? Where I'm like, I know one hardcore band.
And
I apologize.
You forced them to break up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, through my sort of laser focus, was able to maybe cancel the. Who knows what I've done. I think maybe you should be most disappointed in yourselves, because this was always where it was headed. And so this week we're talking about Fall Out Boy's.
Just real quick, So before we started, I did buy. So last month was Dry January. I thought it was one of the greatest months of all of our lives.
It was like an important sort of last. It's like, the real classic idea of like a bachelor or bachelorette party.
That's the other fucking thing that happened since announcing it's Fall Out Boy month. If I got people in my DM, I'm not going to name names because I know how much they love to have their name
drag them.
But that would just make them too happy. But I've had people in my DMs being like, "Did you know that the drummer of Fall Out Boy is straight edge and he's in a hardcore band?" Like, I obviously fucking know that. Like, what
I didn't. This is fascinating. Great new information.
He's in Every Time I Die, Sam. Your favorite hardcore band.
Oh, okay, I see.
But anyways,
he's in a hardcore band.
It was Dry January. I was posting Bev every single day last month. It was a great time. Now the Bevs are more just for me rather than sharing with the whole Discord. But I bought a kombucha downstairs right before we potted. I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this frothy brew while we talk fob. And for some reason, I didn't shake it. It was completely pressurized where when I was just about to hit the call to Sam, the entire can poured directly into my dick hole. So it's a real swampy mess down there. But I feel like maybe that's good for it, probably. If there was anything bad going on down, maybe the different bacteria are fighting each other. I don't know.
I feel like there's some sort of like wellness influencer routine that involves pouring kombucha on your nethers.
Probably.
And it might actually be. I mean, I'm only thinking about this because the old singer from Closet Monster is in the punk news, which is not I'm not leading into the punk news.
Should we? Is it time?
We could lead into the punk. I guess I probably could talk about him in punk news too.
Anyway,
but that's almost real punk news as opposed to. I mean, obviously, what we're going to talk about is real.
That's
punk.
Like the website that stole our idea would probably post that.
Exactly. We got to avoid.
Talking about exclaim.ca.
Our fishing. I do want to know though. Like, was it a flavored kombucha? Because when I was buying kombucha, the old places that used to be near us, I was often found myself gravitating towards the cayenne, and so I just think about having cayenne bucha going up or down.
You got like a spicy one?
Dick hole. I love the spicy kombucha. And so, like, how's your dick hole, Josiah?
Well, usually I get Rise because it's really, really cheap downstairs, and it's like, I like kombucha that just tastes like Orange Crush, basically. It's just like pop. It's just like an excuse to drink pop and spend more money on it and be a little bit more arrogant about it. But I thought, I'll get a different treat. I'll get a can of Club kombucha, beautifully designed brand. And this is framboise flavor, a.k.a. raspberry. It's just fine. It's just a nice sort of fragrant berry bush that I have in my nether region. It's fine. No big deal.
Well, keep us updated on how the berry bush sort of evolves, swampily or not, over the next
as it goes. But before
hours. Yeah.
Before we get into what are we talking about? Fall Out Boy?
Yes, because it is. I feel like you leaned into the punk thing, but you didn't lean into the FOBruary, which in the grand tradition of themed months. I think it's very important to note that we are not dropping the conspicuous R in February,
of course, not.
as we did last year with FOBruary.
Yeah, and people just are doing. I mean, have some respect for the language.
Exactly, because that's what we don't respect punk, but we do respect. The language, of
English.
course, is why we love the Bard so much. The one language above all that we recognize, the only language some would say. All right, yeah,
Punk
go
news.
ahead.
Here's the theme song, Sam. So just shut the fuck up. Punk news. It's a segment that we invented where you take the concept of news, aka reporting. I mean, what is actually that would be fun. Let me just news. Webster's.
It's defined by
dictionary.
Aaron Sorkin as a thing that you tell to pilots.
According to the Webster's dictionary, it's a report of recent events or the Google preview is not. I'm gonna have to click through. A report of recent events or previous unknown information, something having a specified influence or effect. So it's new. It's punk news. So we're going to take that. The Webster.
But what is punk, Josiah?
Well, the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines it as really definition of punk from Merriam-Webster. Number 1, usually. Would you say usually? It wouldn't be unusually. Usually petty gangster, hoodlum, or ruffian. So I guess we could really, if we wanted to turn punk news into like some real right-wing shit very quickly, if we wanted to.
Or just like local criminal reporting.
Like people who wear
there was
hoodies.
A robbery at the convenience store.
All right, Sam, what do you want to go first or should I?
I can go first.
Yeah, let's hear what you got.
So I got a bit of punk news here from the sort of MR&R of celebrity
Did you
gossip.
Say MR&R? Is that how you say it?
MR, I don't know.
I do want to say real quick too, like
it's trying to be down.
What you're sharing from MR&R, kind of the current MR, the new version, Us Weekly. This has been posted. Everyone has already posted this in the Discord, and I want everyone who's in the Discord to remember.
I'm going to move on.
No, please. This is important because that's what I'm trying to say. If you'd like to sign up for the Discord, we'd love to have some new people in there. It's the same like 3 psychos all day, every day. Let's get some new blood in there. Patreon.com/155pod. Second of all, those 3 psychos in Discord, the podcast is not just for you. So Sam probably found this on his own. No one gets credit for it except for Sam. So Sam, please continue with this thing that you so graciously found for us.
Okay, thank you. I will. So, of course, perusing my favorite zine, Us Weekly. This headline caught my eye. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen honored late Bob Saget at a punk rock shiva weeks after his death. Of course, for those unfamiliar, because we might have a lot of Fall Out Boy, quote-unquote, punk fans here, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are icons.
And the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines Shiva as, well, hang on here, the god of destruction and regeneration in the Hindu. That's not right. A traditional 7-day period of mourning the death of a family member that is observed in Jewish homes. And they did a punk rock version of this? Oh, my God.
Well, I know. Can you imagine? How would you sit still for 7 full days? Well, they didn't. But, of course, famous punk duo Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen saw fit to use the punk rock tradition to honor their TV dad, Bob Saget.
And Jeff Ross was there, too.
I mean, check out these punks. So this is
Jeff Ross's dating history is very pop punk, I will say. They
yeah, Jeff Ross. John Mayer maybe also. I mean, who knows? There's probably more pop punk than we want in a lot
Mark
of
Maron's
these
more
guys'
like
histories.
a Discord kind of guy, I think.
Yeah, Mark Maron's got big Discord, like Discogs guy kind of energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark Maron's got a serious prof going on. So evidently, Jeff Ross, pop punk dating enthusiast, posted on Instagram a photo of this punk gathering. After Bob's fancy funeral, we threw him a small, impromptu punk rock shiva upstairs at the Comedy Store. It sounds like, again, John Mayer, Mark Maron were also there. It appears that a few other famous West Coast punks were in attendance. John Stamos, Jody Sweeten. And otherwise, just sort of, it mostly seems like an after party. But who am I? Look, I'm not Jewish, nor am I punk. So impossible to say if this truly was a punk rock.
I do see Chris Cresswell liked this post from Jeff Ross. So shout out to Chris.
Oh, well, there we go. So if
that's
one
a punk
of,
endorsement right there. Absolutely.
In-house punks. It looks like there's all kinds of punks here.
What if we just start like on the show reading different social media posts with the names of people who've liked them, like kind of find some
if there are mutuals there,
some sort of real nasty, horny kind of things that people like. So it could be a fun game. Well, thank you, Sam, so much for that. And my punk news is definitely something that no one showed me, and I did find on my own. But noted punk rocker Machine Gun Kelly is in the news. I'm going to show you why here.
Okay, we're friends now.
I hope it's for something good. I'm so, for some reason, like I could not be more excited, obviously, about Jackass 4, which comes out, I guess, right after this episode.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's out now.
I think
but
in America,
the ads that I keep getting are extremely MGK focused. I don't know where you're sharing this, Josiah, but I don't have it yet.
It's Watch Together, the app that we use
you're
every
using
week.
The Watch Together
for
chat?
every single thing. No, I've started playing a video.
A video.
There's a video in Watch Together that I've had to pause because you were speaking over it, and so this is just a great episode so far, and I'm so glad that I'm gonna give myself a kombucha-based yeast infection because I'm sitting here doing the. I did try to wash the kombucha off of my dick before we started, but our shower takes so long to get hot, so I have had a half body ice cold shower right now. Also,
just the body. You just washed the bottom half of your body in ice cold water because you were in the middle. We were chatting. We were like about to start the episode.
I have a hoodie and a long sleeve like flannel shirt on because I'm cold, and I just like Donald Ducked it with the kombucha dick into the shower, and an ice cold half body shower. Sarah's on a Zoom call in our room, so I couldn't go get. So now I'm just wearing sweatpants that I found in the washing machine or living in the dryer. That I don't have any underwear on. It's just raw sweatpants, cold kombucha body, and then my sort of worn-in sweaty upper half as well. It's very interesting feelings all around.
And this really was like, we were in the process of starting. We were just sort of sharing a couple of links, getting set up, confirming that we didn't have the same punk news to share. And you did this thing where, we're talking about something and then you remember something you need to tell me. So you're like, is it this? And then next message, OMG also, and then immediately cut yourself off with BRB. Big kombucha emergency. And then you were just gone for like 2 minutes, like not that long.
No, because I didn't want to leave you hanging, and I thought you'd bring that kombucha dick energy to the show. And I almost that was the thing. I was like, my hands were like covered in kombucha, but I was like, I can't just type emergency. He's gonna think that like something.
I would be like really worried if you had said you were having a cum emergency.
Emergency.
It was just what happened. You did have a cum emergency.
Do you know how to use Watch Together yet, or can I hit play?
I figured it out. Yeah,
okay,
I've solved
great.
it.
Okay, we're friends no matter what, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Remember when
they are friends.
Remember when we got the new album name tattooed on our arms?
Mm-hmm. Born with Horns.
New album, dog. I'm changing the album name.
He's changed, despite it getting tattooed.
Okay, what's the new album name?
So that's a great name. The new album name is Mainstream Sellout is the name of the new.
That's pretty good.
And it has an anarchy symbol in the A. I like the idea of like MGK has spent the last 30 years trying to make it as a trap rapper, and everyone has hated him the entire time. And then now he's a mainstream sellout. Like this sort of like calling yourself a mainstream sellout kind of with tongue in cheek is like what Against Me would do or something. Not like you can't say that after you've been an industry plant for most of your adult life and then you decided to pivot to like he's somehow doing the opposite of he's like selling in by doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not the like buying it, like you're not fully reversing it. You're right. He sold in. Look, I am forced to respect it, and also this artwork, like the Anarchy A,
Yeah.
the sort of impact font sellout.
It's cool.
God.
Remember when we listened to the
I'm
album
down.
and hated it, and we're probably so wrong. I think we weren't ready yet, but now we are.
Forget Me Too is like a constant go-to. I gotta say, there's one song on that record that does go.
Well,
and
we need
maybe every song on this record.
We need to be careful because otherwise we're going to talk about MGK forever. But we'll have to wait till Mainstream Sellout comes out, unless he changes the name even again to Sell
Right.
In. I think he is selling in. But anyways, let's get to punk news. Here we go. All right, let's talk Fob.
Okay, so this week, to start off FOBruary, we are talking about Dead on Arrival by the band Fall Out Boy, the first official single.
Dead on arrival and swinging. Is that how it goes?
That's it.
I
That's
already
the
can't
song.
remember it.
One of the earliest songs apparently the band ever wrote, and also perhaps a fitting way to begin a month discussing a band that is destined to make no one who listens to this podcast happy.
I think, yeah, it seems like there's a lot of hype about this, and I mean, everyone's gonna leave this month feeling bad about themselves.
We were like, oh, this seems like a band that we should talk about. I think the time is now. The time is right. And obviously, if you hate Fall Out Boy, I mean, how could you? Us doing a whole month of Fall Out Boy songs is frustrating to you. You perhaps don't think it's punk enough. And if you love Fall Out Boy, please,
we're gonna make you. But that's what I love is this idea that like people are listening to this show because they want to hear us. Like, what do you want, really? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
and if we knew, we'd be more popular. So please tell us.
Yeah, please tell us what you want.
We're listening.
Sam, I honestly, I know we got to just do this real quick because I know there's so much to talk about, but I have never been able to just even remotely. I feel like my brain can barely register that Fall Out Boy is even a band, let alone whether or not they're good or not. Like, I'm so perplexed by the existence of this American rock band formed in Wilmette, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago in 2001. Because it's just like, it's so aggressively terrible to me that I have to just respect it, I guess. And I am going into this, despite everything we're saying and despite how much I can't wait to giggle a lot. I'm going into this with an open mind. I'm ready to like all of their weird, like, Fedora Cologne music. I'm down. I'm so ready, but I just don't understand it. And I also think I've had this theory that I hate all bands from Chicago that are popular, at least. And I think it's still this is like Chicago rock music, isn't it?
This is the sound of the Windy City.
Which also, here's a little spoily. That I've already seen the new season of Love Is Blind, and it's set in Chicago, and I just couldn't stop thinking about how kind of Chicago's in the air and how weird of a place it seems to be to me.
Are you violating like an NDA by saying that?
Well, I just don't want them to find out that they are still accidentally giving me the screeners. So
Okay, so no one tell Netflix that Josiah's got access.
people know that it's set in Chicago. I'm not telling everyone about my favorite man to ever live yet.
Oh, wow.
But his name
I
is
thought
Shane.
that was me.
His name is Shane. Okay.
My name's Sam, though. I don't understand.
I would never want you to break up with Ashley, but I would also kind of love to see you be on a dating show.
And that's why The Circle is my show.
Okay. So what do you think about Fall Out Boy? I mean, oh wait, one more thing. During Straight Edge Month, we talked about this like kind of scary hardcore band from New York who are like so tough called Millhouse. And then Fall Out Boy like also kind of has a hardcore background. As we established, there's like a Metal Sucks style straight edge guy in Fall Out Boy. But then they name themselves after, a deeper Simpsons reference, which is kind of lame. And also Millhouse played Fall Out Boy in the Radioactive Man movie. I don't know if you remember that. I'm glad we don't talk about The Simpsons very often because I know a lot and it makes me...
And no one does.
It's really embarrassing. I never thought that knowing so much about The Simpsons would be so embarrassing when you got older.
It is both like a shared language that is beautiful and a shared language that sometimes I just think we should shut the fuck up about.
It's true. So yeah,
it could be both at the same time.
And I guess my last thing, I've been just so excited to talk to you all day.
You've been doing it. You've been just like one more thinging me for half an hour.
Well, this is a good segue. I love that everyone just assumed that we're doing Fall Out Boy because either you love them or because you want to like do a kind of like it's Sammy's money bags. You got dollar signs in your eyes, kind of.
Yeah. and wait, so do you have anything to say about that?
I just think it's funny that people just assume that A, it was your idea because it's so mainstream, and B, that
exactly.
That it seems honestly, even hearing this song, I'm like, this does kind of seem like in the universe of things that Sam likes, though.
Well, that's what's so frustrating about it. And I would like to say that this great big money bags idea was not mine. And it's like you people have not spent fucking 5 years also getting to know Josiah. So shame on all of you. And obviously, I think throughout our time talking about pop punk, we have touched on this band. But given that hopefully we're drawing in an entire new audience of excited Fall Out Boy fans as listeners, I think it's important to level set that we
if
do
you're new
both.
here because of Fall Out Boy, I mean, it's only been 20 minutes so far. That's pretty good. We're already almost talking about the song.
Fall Out Boy feels like, and even in preparing for this episode, I did the same thing as you. I was like, I'm opening my fucking mind. Maybe my problem with Fall Out Boy was like that there were a few people in my life that loved this band and I didn't really love their taste or whatever, like that I was sort of judging the band because of the people. As a mature adult coming to this discography, knowing that there's just nothing but influences that I love that are sort of leading to this music. How will I feel about it? And it somehow just completely misses the mark for me. I have no nostalgia for it, so there isn't that. It has zero emotional resonance for me. And music, but this just like, even from a sort of pop standpoint, doesn't do it for me. And we will continue to sort of cruise through the band's discography. And on some level, I do feel like as they started to embrace simply being this like grandiose pop rock band, it started to be more interesting to me. But here, sort of
really
right at the intersection of all these things that I love, I cannot stand this band.
Is it because of old Patty Stumps? Is that why you don't like it? Because I mean, he's also like, he's kind of the first impression you get, and you're like, God damn, I got to get past this guy to try to figure this out. And then it just keeps getting more confusing and bad.
I don't think his like delightful vibrato helps things, but to me this sort of sits in a universe with a band like All Time Low, where we talked about them a lot when we were talking about Blink, because we both love Blink, and it felt like all of their direct descendants, which is actually starting to change. Like, I feel like there are people who cite Blink as a major influence now who are good, but like the immediate second generation after Blink was pretty much universally shit that we fucking hated. Mm-hmm. And I also wonder if part of that is a function of age. Our guest this week, I think, is a little bit younger than us. And so for them, the experience of listening to Fall Out Boy is like high school. Whereas for me and for you, this was a band that like we probably both heard for the first time when we were like in our 20s, early 20s.
Yeah, well, and I mean, if this came out, this song this week is from 2003, right? And I think we were already, probably we wouldn't have heard it right away yet, but I mean, that's the year of Greetings from Michigan by Sufjan and Room on Fire by The Strokes and the Black Album by Jay-Z. I mean, I was being like, oh, rap is actually good that year. Like,
is it not crap? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Fortet Rounds. I mean, this was my biggest year for being like a music guy and like being like, I know about music. Look at me. I deserve a treat.
Congratulations to you. And I guess that's it, right? This is like, we're both like 18, 19 when this comes out. And maybe have sort of felt like we're trying to progress past being into these types of bands.
The books, The Limit of Pink, that's some pinky up shit right there. I definitely had my pinky up this year. There's no way I was doing this,
But generally I feel like we've been pretty good at sort of revisiting things and recognizing like, oh, we missed this. That's shitty. And with this, listening to it, I was like, no, it actually like annoys me. Like there's something about Fall Out Boy that like gets right under my fucking skin, and it makes me feel uncomfortable and itchy.
Yeah, totally.
How about you?
Well, like I agree, but I think you said the pop stuff is more interesting. I can't wait to talk about some of that stuff because I think it's like some of the worst music I've ever heard in my life in like this other like new way that's kind of like, is this a money laundering scheme or something? Like how does it, I just don't even understand how this band exists. But this song here is kind of like, it does remind me of like, I don't know, the CD wallet of someone with jelly bracelets and the nautical star that I never had the same taste as them. Like, I feel like someone who loves the Ataris probably also loved this song.
I loved the Ataris, though.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you should love this, theoretically.
I know.
It's really strange that you don't, but I think it makes sense that I don't. But, like, listening to this song, and also, I'm going to go ahead and warn everyone, because people were complaining that they don't get to cover the songs for us this month. I mean, I have prepared a absolute kombucha to the crotch of
we're all getting strawberry bushed tonight. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, it's I think I'm gonna probably love the song by the end, but as of right now I'm like, this song in and of itself kind of does sound like a generic like Atari's ass sparrow wrist tattoo kind of song. And I don't hate it. It's okay.
Bullshit. I don't understand why you need to attack the Ataris just to make yourself feel better and put down Fall Out Boy. You could find other shitty references.
I think it's in the exact same universe, but I agree. There's something like that's almost like innately annoying about it that you can't put your finger on, which I think is kind of what Fall Out Boy does. It's kind of their magic in a way. It's like they just have this ability to just be like, to some people, it's like they're like cilantro or whatever.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. They taste like those real soap hours for me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like they always sound to me like a mid compilation band, and as a result, their popularity is just completely inexplicable to me. Like if you were to be like, oh, this band was like the fucking sickest band in Abbotsford when I was in high school, like I would watch some of these videos that we're going to get to and be like, oh my God, that looks like so much fun. But to be like, this is a band that is still playing stadium shows, I just like it boggles the mind.
Yeah.
But maybe by the end of FOBruary we'll understand.
My hunch is that we think of like, again, dick fingers as you call them. I think that's a little reductive, but as far as punk goes, I think people pretend that it's for like the misfits and the weirdos and the outcasts, but like a lot of people really do feel like they can't connect with it because they don't know, all the boring gatekeeper debate, whatever. Like obviously, the gatekeeper thing is a whole other day that maybe we should have that conversation one day. I don't know. Probably not. We're living it. We're living it. But anyways,
we've been having that conversation for 5 years.
Maybe just by sucking so bad and being so annoying and like aesthetically terrible at every turn, Fall Out Boy did accidentally create a safe space for like actual weird kids to get into them because there's like no one cool that likes Fall Out Boy. So it's like it's so incredibly uncool that people started to like it, and like that's kind of sick. And like I said, like this song, I kind of like it a little bit, but it still sounds like a Degrassi punk band. Like it sounds like fake.
There's like the guitar kind of bridge is super sick. There's like elements in it, and I think we should maybe get into some videos because watching these videos, I was like, do I like this? And by the end, I was like, nah, I still don't. You've mentioned that people were telling you this, and I do think it's sort of important context, mostly because I started watching these videos and I was like, this is fucking sick. Is that on some level for me, Fall Out Boy feels like a band that is pop first and punk very much second, and that's sort of borne out as their career has progressed. Whereas, and it's not like I don't love pop music and have not historically fucking loved pop music, but like my particular taste in pop punk has always been bands that I think were like kind of came from like punk or like skate punk kind of first, and the pop thing gets sort of slowly added. Mm-hmm. Whereas, which is interesting because like the legit like punk and hardcore credibility of this band is significantly ahead of bands like Blink or the fucking Ataris.
Well,
like
keep
no
in
one
mind,
in
like
the Ataris was in Race Trader,
or even like Pete Wentz was like friends with Elgin James, the founder of the FSU, who we didn't even talk about last month, which we'll have to do it next dry January. But I mean, they definitely like have real ties. And so maybe that's an interesting point too, is like Fall Out Boy is more like Angel Dust or something, where it's like they're just using the idea of writing hardcore songs and then trying out different genres. And then that's why when they try out pop, it's like they don't really know how to write a pop song, but they're trying on different outfits as if they're trying out different merch for like a hardcore kid. Like they're just in the way that a hardcore guy will be like, I'm going to copy the In My Eyes demo perfectly. And that will be my band. Maybe Fall Out Boy is like, we're going to copy. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know what they're trying to copy. It's so confusing and like incredibly terrible that I am in awe of it. And I'm falling in love with them the more I talk already.
That's it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff here that you like, because basically this was like a very deliberate attempt by some people that were in like, actual hardcore bands to become like the biggest band in the world by being a pop band. And this album is released by Fueled by Ramen, but is like actually an Island Records release. Like this is the beginning of an entire new way of breaking bands, where major labels had interest in independent labels and would quote unquote upstream bands. So this is like a record that was sort of paid for by Island Records, released on Fueled by Ramen with the expectation that once it performed, they would then graduate to being on Island. But by having them initially on an independent quote unquote punk label, that would allow them to establish credibility and a fan base in a way that a major label is not really suited to do. And that just became like what labels did for a few years after that, with like an entire generation of kind of Warped Tour bands. So like they're also really interesting from a business case standpoint as this like very deliberate sort of.
You're gone again.
I'm gone again?
Now you're back.
Nope. Listen, it's because I was talking business too much. Perhaps we should start though, because like I actually had never watched any Race Trader videos where Pete Wentz is in the band, and it's kind of fun. So I think to like ground us in the hardcore pedigree of this band, let's at least watch like this Race Trader video.
Please.
For the brief
Or just be punk till you're 45.
I think he has. Does he have dreadlocks?
Oh wow, he does.
I feel like he's got hardcore guy dreadlocks here.
And someone just said, "Let's be punk till we're 45" into the mic, which that's kind of cool.
I was looking at contemporary photos of Pete Wentz, who is very cool looking, and he's 42, so he's got 3 more years till he doesn't have to be punk.
Yeah, this fucking rules.
Yeah.
I want to go back to this time. Just like giant, not Jinkos, but giant jeans, small black t-shirts,
Yeah.
like Jackson guitars or whatever. Cool
Look at
stances.
that deep squat that the guitar player was in.
This is
And I mean,
sick.
obviously, of course, this is the drummer. This is Andy from Fall Out Boy as well. Pete Wentz was not in this band for very long. This is like more the Andy Hurley band, but still quite fucking sick.
And now Andy Hurley's like in a band with people from Earth Crisis or something.
Yeah,
Like, he
Sect
probably
and Chris Callahan, which is like a fucking sick band. And they still, like, Race Trader still plays, and, like, it's very funny to watch videos of them because, like, he's still the drummer. And I feel like Andy Hurley might be, like, an intensely cool and interesting guy because he's just used, and in a lot of
But
ways,
still
like,
in
Pete
like a
Wentz,
very like he seems like he's a hardcore guy in like a, no disrespect, but in more of like a Canadian kind of like, I don't know, banger films kind of way, rather than like he's probably not friends with like the local bike messenger coke dealers. Do you think? He's not that kind of hardcore guy. He's probably more of like a, kind of legit. He's more of a touring visa hardcore guy.
Right, he is a touring visa hardcore guy for sure. But I guess the real like pre-Fall Out Boy band is this like metalcore band that Pete Wentz was in, Arma Angelus. And there's a couple of videos of them playing, but the one that I wanted to highlight is from 2002. So this is like the year before we get to Dead on Arrival, where they are playing in Montreal. And he sheds out the Canadian hardcore scene off the top. So I wanted to.
We had a really good experience in Ottawa yesterday, and we've been having a good time in Canada. The hardcore scene is alive here, and it's great to see.
Thank you, Pete.
We're gonna put this entire set out to our friends from Throwdown who didn't make it through yesterday and had a
Our friends from Throwdown.
They were supposed to be opening for Throwdown. So this was I guess Throwdown didn't end up playing, but they were on tour with Throwdown. They ended up opening for Poison the Well the next night. Poison the Well and Hatebreed.
So the thing about Pete Wentz, like, I think the other answer to the question of why is Fall Out Boy popular is just that Pete Wentz is like probably one of the first, if not the first, like truly alt heartthrobs, I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
And so that's kind of like, he's obviously, and we're gonna hear some Wentz facts this month from Georgia. We're also gonna hear some excerpts from his live journal. I'm gonna pepper them throughout the episodes here or there, but you'll hear from Georgia every once in a while as I see fit. But I think that's kind of the other thing is like, he's just like, you know, when you get to that level, your music becomes secondary. It's kind of like, he's almost actually a similar Pete Davidson, similar kind of guy in a way, where it's just like
absolutely, yeah.
But he also has always had this like hilarious himbo faux humility energy that I think is so funny, because I saw them open for Blink-182. I think I've mentioned this before. At the Saddle Dome in Calgary, like they're playing this giant fucking stadium that's shaped like a saddle. It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
It's not just a clever name for people who haven't been to Calgary. They really they take the whole fake cowboy town thing very seriously.
And he's wearing at the start of the set he's wearing what looks like a Youth Large hoodie with the hood up, and he goes up to the mic and he's like, "Hey, we're a band called Fall Out Boy. I'm not sure if you ever heard of us, but thanks for coming out. Here's our next." Like he's like doing this like faux humble local band guy thing. I just thought that was like kind of interesting that he's still good at being like, check out the merch table kind of tough.
Yeah,
that special
we'll be
meek,
hanging out.
that meek voice.
Looking
it doesn't
for a place
leave.
to crash.
You don't grow out of it, I guess. But anyways, I want to hear this.
You know what I feel like he has grown out of is that classic Midwest accent. I mean, I've admittedly not watched a lot of videos of Pete Wentz, but I've never felt more like he was from Chicago than like we were in Ottawa last night. Like, God, Jesus Christ, there. But
is anyone else from Fall Out Boy in it? Or
no? But this band does have, I believe, Tim McIlrath from Rise Against. This is like a very important Chicago band if you're into terrible fucking music.
No, I like this. This is great.
Well,
I love this kind of shit.
Yeah, it's metalcore can mean a lot of things, and when I was listening to this, I was like, this kind of rocks, actually.
Yeah, look at all this like kickboxing moves. I love this kind of shit.
So the members of this band included Joe Troman, who would go on to be in Fall Out Boy. Patrick Stump did play drums in this band for a period of time, might in 2002, so maybe he's even playing drums in this video. And Tim McIlrath played bass for a while, but is not in the band at this point. But we may or may not be looking at like most of Fall Out Boy here. It's kind of hard to tell.
See, they should have stayed like this. This is way sicker. They have that album called Where Sleeplessness is Rest from Nightmares. I mean, that's Fall Out Boy right there, for sure.
Yeah, you could kind of like ultimately kind of trace the progression. I will say this, I don't think Pete is like a great hardcore frontman.
No, he definitely, I think it's because he's like, I think I know what he was trying to go for with that jacket, but he definitely looks like a Mountain Equipment Co-op employee, and not in a cool hardcore way.
No, it's strange how like easy it is to miss the mark on that and just look like someone who is insisting that you buy a membership to their co-op in order to get some songs.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, shout out Montreal.
Yeah.
Shout out.
That was sick. That was now I like Fall Out Boy because of that.
Shout out Chicago metalcore. But, you know, more than anything, like I did feel like, you know, in listening to this song and in trying to kind of understand this moment in the history of this band, like kind of what I was saying earlier of like this just being like bad compilation music is this, along with like a few of the other songs that are on Take Us to Your Grave, which is like the first proper Fall Out Boy record. This is like this massive moment for people who love bad shit. But this was originally intended, this song was supposed to be part of a split with a band, I believe also from Chicago, called the 504 Plan. And in checking out this band, I was like, yeah, this is the music, like this is the most like, you definitely knew a bunch of bands that sounded like this and were just like the most also ran sort of scene bands in your town. So this is the band
like
that was
literally
originally
what
intended.
When I lived in Abbotsford, I feel like every band from Calgary sounded like this.
Yeah, and this is like, after like this, and for me, it reminds me of like the sort of second wave of like 905 bands, you know? So like you had all these cool bands coming from the Toronto suburbs, and then almost like it became cool to be in these bands. So more and more people that were not like Kyle Bishop decided to form punk bands, and you just ended up with like 200 bands on every bill that all sounded like this before you could watch like a decent band.
But these kind of bands always played for like an hour too.
Oh, that's the thing, right? The shows are actually still happening. If you go to like, you know, a certain Polish hall, like in Burlington, like you can hear the 504 plan still ringing out.
Cool. Nice.
But like I do love like, so I feel like there's always these transformative moments for us where you like find the old video where you're like, oh, this is kind of sick. And I will say this. I don't know that it completely happens in watching these videos, but you know, by 2003, Fall Out Boy are like very popular in Chicago, but it hasn't fully kind of broken elsewhere, you know? So here is them playing this song in Duncansville, Pennsylvania, to like a completely static and disinterested crowd. And it's in like the spooky night vision.
I gotta say, the start of the song is pretty good. Like it has like some hits to it that sound pretty good. Probably really fun to play.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't quite hear Patrick Stump's like.
Yeah, it's better that way too.
And so you're like, maybe if someone else were to sing.
I was kind of thinking about how Patrick Stump, especially early on in Fall Out Boy, definitely dressed like he was from Freaks and Geeks, and how that vibe, like he looks so much like Seth Rogen, and like I still feel like you have to choose. I know they've tried to pull it off over and over again, but I still think you have to choose between being a freak or being a punk. You can't. I mean, there was a whole episode of Freaks and Geeks about that where James Franco tried to be a punk and it didn't work.
Yeah, it's they should have taken a lesson from James Franco, Josiah. But okay, here they are playing it at a like Knights of Columbus Hall, same year, and this is like a much more like.
I'm probably wrong, but it looked like Pete Wentz was wearing a Locust t-shirt in that last video.
He might be. He's got a lot of good t-shirts. There's like another video where, I mean, big time Bane shirt energy. He was definitely a Bane shirt guy. And this one is like a Halloween show, so you got people running around in costumes. The band kind of looks like, I don't know what they're dressed like. But like watching this, I was like, yo, this if I was here, I'd be like, Fall Out Boy fucking rocks.
This is some Sam shit, absolutely. Also, there's something about the vocal melody in the verse that I think there's a hint of Misfits in this song. Maybe. Yeah.
You know what's funny? It sounds exactly, to me, like an Alkaline Trio song called Fatally Yours, which also came out in 2003, meaning it can't be a ripoff, but there's like every band in Chicago was just sort of stealing from the Misfits. But you're right. This is like sort of what if Danzig was like really trying to make money.
Yeah. I definitely think this is probably one of my favorite Fall Out Boy songs, of the Fall Out Boy songs that I've heard. Probably this and Uma Thurman are my favorites.
Yeah. That's the sort of breadth of, because this to me is like, we were going to do, and I said this in the interview, like when we were kind of trying to think of how to start this out, is we got to do something for Take This to Your Grave, because that's like the big moment for a lot of people. And the actual like really big song that I think sort of changes things for Fall Out Boy from this record, and I don't think this is just a fucking fact, is Grand Theft Autumn, which I hate saying and I fucking hate listening to more. And we both were like, okay, which Fall Out Boy songs would we do? And I was like, maybe this one. I was like, I fucking can't. Although it turned, like in my mind, I was like, we can't just spend the entire episode shitting on them. And I think I just started this one kind of keyed up to begin with, and I brought a lot of negative energy to this episode. And if you're a Fall Out Boy fan, you gotta pour
a kombucha on your pubes, and then you feel this great sort of wave of nutrients being absorbed.
I think that's the problem.
You got to hoop a kombucha before you start the episode, and then
I have no nutrients down there. Unfortunately, it's
you know what I want to say I hate about this song real quick, and what I think you've probably done this in every song you've ever written, but I've done it too, so it's fine. But I don't think I like when bands in the chorus make it like a meta thing. I think I'm already, even though this is from 2003, I'm already sick of, I think that it feels out of date to be like, I'm writing you a chorus and here's your verse. I think that's like, I'm sick of that shit. Everyone needs to go back in time and stop doing it, I think. Bouquet of
All
Clumsy
right.
Words was the last time it was allowed. I don't think anyone else pulls it off properly. I know I'm not your favorite record. The songs you grow to like never stick at first. So I'm writing you a chorus and here's your verse. Come on. Don't do a meta song about writing a song. The Cooties already did that. MXPX side project.
Well, here they are, and so like, there's also obviously a million videos of this band playing this for like arenas full of people, and you know, this is on their greatest hits album. Apparently, they've stopped playing it live as of 2013, but this is like, it was really interesting to me on some level to like watch the progression of like this plan that was both like Pete Wentz's plan of I'm going to make a pop band and take over the world, but also the Island Records plan. And this is the other thing is like all of their anecdotes from this time are like, we were just like getting in the van and touring. Like they were managed by Crush at this time already,
Really?
which is one of the biggest management companies in the world. And on one hand, I feel like it's so fucking rich for me to like be both like currently professionally and even in terms of like the stuff that I was into at that time. But like everything about Fall Out Boy feels just like a full-on industry plan, because that's literally what it was. The industry was like, we are going to plant this band on an independent label, and then once it works out, we will upstream them. Like, I mean, just the most like fucking business terminology to describe like a punk band, where it's like at least Blink and at least Green Day, for all the things that they did and all the places that they went, fundamentally, I think, started from a more authentic place. And that makes me feel like such a fucking hypocritical dick. But like, just the idea of like, you know, we get in the van and we had no money for food. I'm like, motherfuckers, you were managed by the same people who managed Alanis Morissette and Weezer.
Well,
Like, Crush
let's not bring
manages
Weezer into
Rick
this, but
there's nothing wrong with Weezer, but it's just like, oh, your management also manages Train, like, and Miley Cyrus, like, and they've been their management the whole time, like the entire
it's
time.
not that
This was
different.
like,
It's not that different if you whether you're getting in an actual van or you're getting into a PJ private jet. It still feels the same. Someone's got to lug your amp, and you got to sit there.
True.
I mean, it sucks, man. Tour fucking sucks, bro.
I
You're
know.
away from your girlfriend on your private jet. It sucks ass.
it's tough. It is always tough. But what I hope to understand by the end of this month a little bit is like why that grinds my gears so. And maybe but that's why like when we get to like
Right.
the This Ain't a Scene song, I'm like, this fucking rocks. Because like there's no attempt to present that as anything other than like the stupidest pop song imaginable.
I
But
think the reason that we don't like Fall Out Boy is entirely because we're both 36.
maybe, but you don't like you compare them to the Ataris, and the Ataris is like, okay, a guy living in the middle of nowhere in Indiana like writes a bunch of songs to try to be the Descendants and sends it to Kung Fu Records, and like then it's like, oh shit, puts together a band. Like there's something so much like more intrinsically actually lonery about this. I think the fact that Pete Wentz always just seemed like too pretty. Maybe
That's true.
Am I jealous of Pete Wentz? Is that what this is all coming down
Well,
to?
I do think again, if you know about like merch and 7-inch variants and stuff, you already are very business minded. So that doesn't even surprise me to be like, let's get a manager right away.
Yeah.
And also,
But
isn't it
I
funny
actually-
now how like every DIY emo band in the world has a manager, and like everyone's just like normal. Everyone with like 300 followers in a band is like, oh yeah, we're talking to our manager, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like everyone has a manager now. It's
completely
weird.
insane. It is completely
It's
insane.
so
I agree
weird.
with you. I think you made actually early on a point that I want to come back to.
Don't
because
act so
it is, like,
surprised that I made a point.
I know. To me, I actually think I'm like, oh, maybe that's it. Which is that like, because this was so aggressively unpunk, like in its execution, in its there was no attempt to kind of dress it up really, like in sort of veneers of kind of credibility. You know, again, despite the fact that the band, and maybe that's by virtue of the fact that the band was coming from such a fundamentally credible place that sometimes when you put on those airs, it's because you're insecure, you know, and maybe there's nothing to really prove. It's just like, we're just going to be a pop band. That I think your point of like, there's nothing to gatekeep here, and therefore more than other bands that are like
not even song. There's not even songs. There's nothing to. It's just like pure chaos. This
It's
is
vibe
like,
based.
This is like an orgy of ideas. It's actually like terrifying. It's like some Sodom and Gomorrah shit of musical
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, but don't look back. Whatever you do, that's our mistake. Just being
We're looking back. We shouldn't.
constantly disobeying God. That this idea that this is more than any of these bands like a place for true outsiders and people who feel like you're in high school and you feel like a loser. No one in this situation thinks that you're a loser. And it could be possibly make you feel like more of a loser than the people on stage. That to me is like valuable, right?
But that even makes Pete Wentz seem like more of a traitor because he's not even following that rule because he's like a hot guy. So it's like that's tearing that argument apart, I think.
I know.
Maybe people never understand.
I love, like I said, watching a band like this blow up in real time, I think is interesting. So you go from that Duncansville, no one cares night vision to the Crazy Nights of Columbus to here they are at the Metro, which is like a proper, like decently sized venue in Chicago. Clearly like kind of the homecoming show. And you're like, oh man, like again, if you were from this city or this region and this was like the hometown heroes coming back, like having started to take over the world, that would be sick. And again, like when this song starts, I'm like, yo, do I fucking love this song? And then it keeps going.
I can't remember what happens else. What do you not like about the song? I can't remember really what happens.
I think I stopped liking it the minute it goes dead on arrival. Like that just sounds like every drive-through band that I hated.
Yeah, true.
Like I don't think I like any band that goes gank, gank. Yeah, just I think something about that particular punk cliche.
We don't really have time, but what I find interesting is I agree with you.
I've never heard you say that in your fucking life.
Well, it's because you're gonna hate me. We're banking apps too. You're gonna hate me so. Like I don't think you're gonna speak to me anymore after this night is through.
Amazing.
But
okay.
What I'm trying to understand real quick, something to ponder throughout the month is like I agree with you. I never liked a drive-through or fueled by ramen bands really for the most part. But why is Piebald like kind of the same thing but still good? That's what I never have really understood. Like they're playing the same kind of like mid-tempo, like generic emo music, but it just fucking is sick as hell. And I've never understood
vocals,
that.
man, because there's something kind of at least alienating about the vocals.
Yeah.
Like you're like not everyone could like this. To me, like if Patrick Stump was like going like, "Hey, you part of it," like you would hate American Hearts, you know. But it's the yelling, it's the like weird atonal.
It's true
yelling. But I think we should at least hear some alternate takes because the reason again that we're talking about this song, this record, is because this really was like a crucial entry point for people, and so wanted to check out r/pop punkers.
Sick.
Because this song gets a lot of love, I particularly am drawn to a comment from the user Fumblefinger, who posts, I've been trying to come up with quote unquote perfect albums for almost a year now. Perfect. It's subjective, but my criteria is basically 1, album sticks to its theme without getting repetitive. 2, every member of the band is at a career best. 3, listenability. There are a lot of albums that would be perfect, but they have 16-minute outros. Clarity, for example. I can't think of another, all of the albums with 16-minute outros. Also, that's like one of the fucking sickest parts of Clarity, you fucking idiot. 4, every song has to be something unskippable. So having laid out their criteria,
I love
Fumblefinger then says...
The phrase, I've been trying to come up with perfect albums for almost a year now. Like, based on what you just read to me, I think that they actually have been working on this full time every day for a full year.
Yeah, they quit their job.
Just every day they wake up and they're like, God damn it, I need to crack this.
I'm going to figure it out. So having developed this criteria over a year of kind of research, I'm sure vigorously following the scientific method, so far, the only 2 albums I've been able to come up with are Take This to Your Grave and Tell All Your Friends. Take This to Your Grave is foundational to the current recent scene of pop punk. It was perfect when it came out, and it has aged like fine wine.
See,
and people...
That's the thing about Fall Out Boy. It's like music for people who describe things as aging like fine wine on Reddit. That's who it's for. It's perfect. It all makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's the audience. There's like an in-depth conversation of the song also on like Fall Out Boy's own robust subreddit, which like honestly, I can't tell if I wish that the Blink's subreddit had been like this when we were doing Blink 155, or if I'm incredibly glad that it wasn't.
Oh my God!
Because
please, I hope we don't get put on the Fall Out Boy subreddit. They can never know.
Yeah, everyone just agree. If you are on Reddit or you know someone who's on Reddit, don't tell them about this episode. Don't tell them about this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long year still. We have a lot of other ideas like this. There's a lot of time for us to get killed and doxed and whatnot. So
yeah, please. This features like little tidbits about the song. Lets you know. I mean, of course, this is one of the only Fall Out Boy songs where the lyrics were written by Patrick Stump and not by Pete Wentz. That it was featured in GarageBand, but a bunch of live links. Like it's like organized like a wiki post. It's very very involved. And people just once again saying, "Yeah, I love this song." It's like, okay, respect. Something that I noticed here that I actually didn't have, and maybe we should check out, is there's a music video for this song, and one of the things that happens is the cops shut down a show because they're punk, but it is noted in their Wikipedia. Both the dedicated Fall Out Boy Wikipedia and Wikipedia proper, that Fall Out Boy apologized to the cops and thanked them after for appearing in the music video. So,
that's
lest anyone listening to this have concerns that Fall Out Boy are not on the right side of the law.
Right, the Chicago PD.
Yeah, but there is a director's. Yeah, everyone knows the Chicago cops. No, they're the only good cops. So it looks like there's a commentary track on the music video featuring the director.
This song is one of the earlier ones we did, as far as like.
He sounds so shy. He's so performatively shy whenever he talks.
Yeah, it's like the Lonely Island song. So this is not the director. This is Patrick Stump and Pete Wentz in the back of the van.
Actually, we didn't even have.
It's definitely not a van. It's a tour bus.
Sorry, I meant the yes.
Not fell apart.
That's what they were talking about the van. This is what they meant.
Recollecting ourselves, point where it was me, Joe, and Pete, and we're all like, "What are we gonna do? Well, we love this band. Let's do it." So we had.
Well, that's fucking boring.
Wow, so interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that stuff, boys. Great insights. Very funny, and just love your whole vibe here.
Yeah, and of course, like this is the first time in a minute I think we've been talking about a band that might have the popularity to warrant a bit of fan fiction. And so there is a piece of Fall Out Boy fan fiction published to Wattpad by user Blair Castle, which I initially really wanted to read. However, I will say a content warning for Dead on Arrival, this piece of Fall Out Boy fan fiction. It does involve, as every piece of fan fiction does, death by suicide. So perhaps we won't actually read this.
Well, how about instead of that, before we get into covers, why don't we hear an excerpt of Pete Wentz's infamous live journal?
Let's.
An abridged reading from the blogs of Pete Wentz. Wednesday, May 17th, 2006. Friends that lay together stay together, or how the thoughts in my head go, unfiltered. Forgive me for not showing more remorse. Apologies were never really my thing, outside of feeling sorry for myself. The last nail in your coffin got stuck in the mail. You're gonna have to wait. Until then, focus on love below the waist. They say your head can be a prison. Consider this a conjugal visit. My dad calls girls he dated back in high school old flames, like it makes them feel better in his own head. He always asks my mother if he's still got it, but would anyone answer this question with a no, like ever in history? It's like I can't think of myself getting older without thinking about the way my father is 30 years older than me. There's not much that terrifies me more. If I ever freely gave out these details of any of these events, they'd fucking lock me up and throw away the key. But that's okay, as long as the place has 24-hour room service and a stocked mini bar. Everything everywhere is a roll of the dice, and the best way to make it through life with heart and wrist intact is to realise 2 out of 3 ain't so bad, except when you throw Hail Mary and it's not caught. Don't bet it all on anyone, ever, except yourself.
So, by the way, if you don't want to hear us talk about Fall Out Boy, we are going to be not talking about Fall Out Boy on Patreon.
That's true.
So we are kind
of episodes all this month about other punker stuff. Probably not
Punker
actually
stuff.
punker.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, patreon.com/155pod. Ask your parents for permission if you're going to use their credit card to sign up, and we'll see you there.
I would say don't. Be bad. Be punk.
So this is a true return to form, what I'm about to put us through. But before, just kind of as a warm-up, I think maybe for the listeners to be able to remember the song and to ensure that it gets deleted off of Spotify for copyright infringement as sort of our protest of whatever is going on over there. But I just thought this was interesting. This person uploaded the song to YouTube, and they must have needed to include a photo for it to work as a video, and I just don't really understand what it's a photo of, and I can't stop thinking about it. Is it an oar?
Oh, that's one of those it's one of those hoverboards that you wave like your feet.
I don't think it is. Is it?
I think that is. Yeah.
Did those exist? Whoops.
Self-propelled.
Because this was uploaded in 2008, so would that have existed yet?
I don't know what those things are called. It's like the.
So not like the hoverboard kind, like the analog
not
kind.
Not a hoverboard, but like that's definitely what that is.
Those like weird like wiggly skateboard things that you have to.
Yeah, the wiggly skateboard. That's what that is.
It's such an unnerving photo, like in like a concrete death hole basement.
Now I'm just looking at hoverboards. I kind of want one.
You should absolutely get one.
What are they called? Like dumb skateboard. Well, that's just a longboard. I don't know what that's called.
This guitar solo is pretty good.
This is a good protest against Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part of the song's fucking sick.
Whatever they've done over there at Spotify, this is for you. But yeah, to get into it properly, we're going back to our roots. We got to start with the Nightcore. We have to.
Oh my God, yeah.
In some of these covers, this little noodle of guitar sounds like shit, but I noticed it actually kind of sounds like shit on here too. It's like I do like that it has the gang vocals too. It has the elements of Newfound Glory actually.
Oh yeah, especially sped up like this. These all sound like stuff from like a Newfound Glory album where I've already given up on Newfound Glory.
Yeah. There's always whenever they have a new album, there's always one single that's pretty good, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Yo, straight up though, sped up like this, it's just hit or miss. Oh my God, I can't do it right now because it's happening. This is that's actually legitimately just straight up that way it is. It's a real life, live it for yourself.
Well,
what do you think? That's a better fucking song. Why aren't they more popular?
You're so mad at Fall
I don't know. I'm just I'm in a mood.
You got a whole month of this to do tonight.
I know.
Basically.
Well, I'll be fine eventually. To be honest, I'll be fine for this next week's episode. I'm actually.
So another way of returning to my roots is this is the first ever cover guy that I was obsessed with on YouTube. This is Dew1403, DEW1403. Just like this swoopy hair emo guy who seems to live in his parents' basement, it looks like. And he is covering Fall Out Boy. He's done a bunch of Blink songs on MXPX. I mean, definitely
that bass tone.
Being really pretty and making a little pretty lip bite face. That's Pete Wentz's influence right there.
Yeah, I feel like Pete Wentz ruined a generation of men, and I've never known a guy like this that I didn't fucking hate.
Oh, there's one that I know that I love.
Really? Messing? Who is it?
I'm just gonna say it. There's this guy.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think he realizes it, but he's so pretty that he reminded me of this. But he's always been in
Wait,
more
me?
He's always been in more cool punk bands. He was in Knucklehead and the Mandates. His name is Jimmy, and he's he's way too hot to be playing. Whenever he's playing bass, I'm like, this guy's way too hot. It makes me mad. But then you talk to him, and he's the best dude ever. So I can't stay mad at him for being so hot. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that to me that is the particular type of movie star charm that Jason Momoa is selling. Where you're somebody who looks like this can't be as fucking cool and likable as Jason Momoa, but Pete Wentz could never.
Well, I'm actually pretty convinced, maybe we can get into this month too, just from having seen them live, I'm pretty convinced that Pete Wentz doesn't know how to play bass. Like, even just whenever I've seen a picture of him holding a bass, it's like he's never held one. Like, he's holding it to pose as a himbo in Long and McQuaid, being like, look at me, I'm a bass player. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing at all, I think.
I mean, maybe he's like, he wouldn't be the first bass player to have somebody else just playing for them backstage.
Exactly. That's what I think. Maybe he should do 1403. So shout out to my first love on YouTube. This is a new guy that I love, and I forget his name, but he's got some nice room buzz going on. And he has a famous Stars and Straps sticker on his bass. He's wearing a Nightmare Before Christmas shirt. He can barely play, and I love how he puts his foot up on his bed to like pose.
I just like that he's kind of nailing it, but just the high notes are not right. Like this just all of a sudden becomes like very. So he's got shorts on.
This is Andre Rosamond.
Yeah, he's got a Nightmare on Elm Street, Jack Skellington in the Santa hat shirt.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
What did I say? Nightmare on Elm Street. Everyone knows Jack Skellington, the pedophile.
Here we go. Oh, foot up.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what Andres says on his video. Whoa, wait, the comment somehow disappeared while I was looking at it.
Oh, damn.
Oh, no, sorry, it's not the comment.
It's you snooping.
It's the description. My first ever bass cover. I know it doesn't sound good. I did it just for fun. Hell yeah. That's so
Sometimes
sick.
you just gotta have some fun, you know?
You just gotta have some fun. Gently put your leg up on your bed. Barely play alone.
Just a gentle.
He honestly, if he just like collapsed
Rocking.
right now, I wouldn't be surprised. He seems like he's falling asleep by his own.
It's very stoic.
So sick.
But really rocking that bass.
Well, let's
great tone.
We got to get a bit more juiced in here. I'm not juiced enough right now. So let's get juiced with this fucking ripped, shredded guy who just covers the solo.
These are all show muscles, though. That's not functional mass.
Oh my god!
A lot of just like swagless bros so far.
That was so cool.
He looked like Kevin Pillar, the baseball player.
So cool. I need to somehow send you what his YouTube still looks like because it's so good. I don't think I have G-Chat up in it.
I can see the tiny Max Rez default there.
You can see he went to get a he went to get a professional shot taken with his axe. I just sent it to you on G-Chat. It's so good.
Oh wow! Like it's sort of like a cute Sears portrait studio with his flying V.
This guy fucking rules.
Yeah, this guy is cool as shit.
I don't know. Unfortunately, I can't read the characters on this next one. But, there's that little girl drummer who's always hogging all the attention. And I'm frankly sick of her. Now you're friends with Dave Grohl. Get out of here. You're his fucking sellout, you little kid drummer. So I'm all about this kid now. Because this kid fucking whips ass at drumming. Plus,
okay, so this is like another, how old is this kid, do you think?
What if he's like 25? And we just
maybe he's got the orphan disease.
No, he's got to be 8 or something.
Yeah, we got the sort of silencing pads.
Yeah, we used to use those when we were starting Grown Ups. I just cut up yoga mats so we could do that in our rental. Sarah could learn drums like that. And so I have a fondness for this sound. This kid rules, though. Honestly,
I just see you occasionally kind of smiling at the camera. Oh, this kid. Oh, and then there's just a random slideshow at the end, him meeting Black Panther, going on a roller coaster.
I've done a translation. It's translated from Chinese according to Google. I'm Yu Kyun, and I love playing drums. Hell, we can tell. I mean, you were sick as hell.
I wasn't sure if this should go in the live section or the cover section, so I'm really glad that you pulled this video, because this video is fucking weird.
I didn't pull it. I think you put it in here. I never saw this.
Okay, so that's... So look, I don't know if this works in your flow. Is this going to fuck you up?
No, it's great. I think
Do you have
it's
like an
great.
acoustic section? Okay.
Well, we can go to the acoustic. We'll make it work. Please.
So this was a video. I was really struggling with the watch together and the moving videos around. So that's probably what happened is I dropped this in the middle of your cover section. But this is, and then I guess I deleted it. This is someone playing Dead on Arrival with Fall Out Boy. It looks... There's not a lot of context in the video.
I guess they're in a
description.
Tower Records. At first I was like, it looks like they're in a gas station. It looks like they're in a Couche-Tard.
It looks like maybe there was a signing in a Tower Records, and this kid brought his guitar to get signed, and then was like, "Can I play Dead on Arrival with you?" And it feels like first Pete Wentz is like, "Yeah, sure, fine," and they kind of sing it for a little while, and you can see him growing really bored. But then there's like a cut to him doing the same thing with another member, and you're like, "This kid, like this is." You know, you've been called a Punisher before on this podcast.
Yeah, by a guest that was invited on the show. I mean, that's fucking... That will not be forgotten.
But this is what real punishment looks like.
Pete Wentz is like, fuck, this kid's better than me at guitar. Pete Wentz is definitely dressed like a B9 poster. He's got Youth Large Bane shirt, studded punk belt. So he's doing kind of a parody.
Yeah, he's sort of riffing. And then he's just doing the same thing in front of Patrick Stump, who's even worse at pretending that he finds this cute.
He looks like, look at this. He looks like Madame Tussauds.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
Oh, I messed it up.
Wow, this is so uncomfortable. I don't even know
yeah,
why.
it's just like these guys are just trying to extract themselves from this situation.
This is so awkward. It's deliciously awkward.
Pete just sort of moshes Patrick Stump out of the situation. Very uncomfortable.
I think this,
so that was sort of
do
half a cover,
nice,
half a live video.
Here's a nice acoustic one that'll nice palate cleanser. It's like sloppy teen bedroom. This is uploaded by the Emotional Llama in 2020. Some piece of shit said that was fucking awful on here, but it's absolutely not awful. You fucking
No, this is like the vibes here are immaculate.
This person also has I have this problem where when someone has a lisp, I just automatically think they're like the kindest person ever. And maybe it's not a problem. Maybe that's like an evolutionary thing to know that.
I think so. You know, your brain is like, well, this person's probably maybe they've been bullied, therefore they've developed like an interesting character, you know?
Yeah.
They've probably got a great sense of humor.
This is so sick though. Like this is the way the song should be. Just like slops teen bedroom vibes.
I haven't seen it yet, but I feel like this kid like just looks like an extra in Licorice Pizza.
Right.
Or like it's just a very, very Linklater-esque vibe, like more than anything.
Well, let's test the teen bedroom vibe for and see if we like this. So that was the Emotional Llama. Let's go to teen bedroom a cappella vibe. This might be too far.
This is just
This is uploaded by Ema Butterfly.
12-year-old.
Comments are turned off. Probably people being mean again.
Wow.
Dead on arrival.
Kid's got pipes.
So deep.
But
I would happily hear this kid replace Patrick Stump.
I got the same like vibrato vibes.
Flip me over.
Well, I think that
hit or miss by Newfound Glory.
the vibes are gonna get worse. You got to pay attention here. I've put this. I mean, this was just in here because this guy has a giant Skillet poster on his wall, and I thought that was kind of cool to be that much of a Skillet fan.
Skillet.
Damn, that's an expensive guitar, though. I think.
Is it?
A Gibson Studio Les Paul. Wait, was someone just singing? Was that you?
No, God.
Did you hear that?
Imagine. Oh yeah, like someone else is in the room.
Someone's doing harms.
Okay, I feel like we actually, because it reminded me a little bit of the Alkaline Trio song, but can we interrupt this and I want you to tell me if this is exactly this Newfound Glory song?
That kid's name was Pastel Clout. Kind of
remember Clout? Remember when you would get like free beers for like having followers on Twitter?
Yeah.
I got a couple of Molson Canadian ciders one summer.
For being on the website Clout with a K? Is that what you're talking
Clout
about?
with a K.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is the song "Better Off Dead" by Newfound Glory, and this is from 1999, right? So
Okay.
I'm feeling like, this is 2000, but either way, like this to me is a superior version of this exact song. Like I thought it was Alkaline Trio, and it sort of is, but at least the timing makes sense here. Okay. Blah blah blah.
I like his album art. It has condoms right beside Michael Jackson. Kind of foreshadowing for that one Newfound Glory guy. Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is just the era, but this is the fucking same song.
There's definitely that vibe in there for sure. You know, it wouldn't be the first time Fall Out Boy have been very credibly accused of ripping off someone else.
But at least the song ends up having punk beat in it. Anyway, I'm good.
That actually sounds pretty bad to me too. I think.
Well, that was a demo, but yeah.
Let's get back into this. This is like the most uke cover I've ever seen in my like. This is so ukey. I'm so excited to show you this uke cover because look at this guy. I mean, this is
that's too uke.
It's like full Neutral Milk Hotel uke. I mean, this kid looks like a newsie basically. This is Sasha Bozanik.
There's like fake sepia and sort of rounded corners on the iPhone, like angled shot.
This is from 2021. I love this kind of. If you're gonna do a uke cover, make it sound like the band Beirut.
Oh. Are they joking, or is this just like...
No, it's serious. It's their bit. This is what they do. They do like serious uke covers.
But are they like pretending to freak out? I just can't tell.
No.
Okay.
No, it's just like their vibe as a singer-songwriter.
Okay, that's cool.
I think it's working. It's so much better than doing like the actual melody. This like sounds like Montreal cafe where all the chairs are broken kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah. This is, you're kind of still in lockdown. This is a little taste of the world outside your front door.
Exactly. Okay, let's keep going. I don't really remember what this one is. I think this is I don't know if this is lockdown or not. This is called Hero Vision. Fall Out Boy Dead on Arrival. I don't know if Hero Vision is the name of the band or... This is from 2008, so it's not like a lockdown thing. Yeah. Dead on Arrival at the Hero Vision launch, Game On Party, State Liberty of Queensland. Uploaded 2008, so we're going to have to figure out what Hero Vision is, but this is the video, and it's very, very strange and disorienting.
Yeah, is that the band, or is that the vision we're seeing it in?
What the fuck is
One of these
Hero
guys kind of
Vision?
looks like Machine Gun Kelly.
It's true.
What the fuck?
Okay, well, don't click on HeroVision.tv because it seems to be a...
I can't... What the fuck are we watching?
This is the last time, 'cause I'll never say
no, it's like so disorienting. Are they like trying to collaborate through the internet, but it's like so laggy because it's from 2008?
I think so, because I'm looking at the Hero Vision Vids channel, and I think this was like their launch party, and it looks like it says live video for Rocking Out.
What are these weird sounds that keep happening? But also, they're clearly all in the same place. Is the confusing
Oh, but
thing.
this is also not okay. I'm just like they're not actually playing, right? Like someone, I think they're playing the Rock Band version of the song, maybe. That's what this is. This is an attempt to do Rock Band over live streaming, and that's why it sounds so fucking insane.
But you can see some of them in the background of other videos. Like, I think at least the top two screens are in the same room.
Because I think that's what, because they said it's like this is their launch party. So this is here. The hero vision here is like Guitar Hero or whatever. Game on party. What the fuck?
It's cool though. I love it. Eurovision is cool as hell.
Wow. I honestly kind of want to check out the rest of this channel. Like, wouldn't you want to hear those people try to cover Enter Sandman?
It's true. Well, while we're in the Rock Band version zone, this is someone doing the Rock Band cover. This is like from the perspective of the Rock Band machine.
Just pull Christina sit in that chair. So I can see.
From the perspective of the Rock Band.
He sets it up like on the TV. This is Mugen uploaded this, Mugen.
In Rock Band 1.
But like, look at this. Like, this is just like an entire, and one of the most interesting like how-to with John Wilson ass basements I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
it seems like they live
definitely.
inside of an antique store. But then this kid has like hella AP emo frontman moves.
Oh yeah.
That's a newfound glory thing to like do a really quick roll your eyes and look upwards while you're singing.
Is the other person in this frame also playing, or are they just watching?
Yeah, I
this?
think she's playing the Rock Band guitar because she was holding it at the start.
Yeah, and she's doing like weird stuff with her mouth that you only do when you're playing guitar. Like if the idea that she was just doing all that just while chilling is unsettling.
But I mean, I feel like we could spend 2 hours describing this basement and not do it justice. Like, I don't
nailed it though with the how-to with John Wilson ass basement. That's definitely it.
There's like 6 buckets stacked upright of like, they look like lard buckets or something.
Yeah,
and there's so many antiques.
Oh, and there's like marionettes or something right behind him, like big dolls. There's a lot of dolls on that wall.
There's no carpet. It kind of seems like they're inside of a store that also is
I feel
storing
like maybe
lard
they're
for someone.
Oh, I'm upset for whoever. This is a strange house, and I can't stop looking at what that girl's doing with her mouth. Like I know, sorry, I know that sounded, but you know what it's you know, again, everyone has like things that they do when they're playing instruments they don't notice, but it's like this compulsive like just like like lip licking. Again, the way I'm describing it all sounds very. I'm not trying to sexualize it. It's just fucking weird.
It's also just this is just one of the strangest videos I've ever seen.
Yeah, everything about that is weird.
I think because also the Bring Me the Horizon shirt is making it like have this mall context, whereas this seems like maybe it's the basement of a haunted mall or like Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie mall, but not like a mall.
I just watched Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. This feels like maybe a set piece from that movie. Yeah, definitely not. This is not your average mall for sure.
It's not. Antique mall punk maybe is the. So this is a band playing it and they're rocking. The nice thing is like a lot of bands are able to play this song. They're kind of sick actually.
Poster. Yeah. The kid has been, oh man, like he's been tray pilled, cool pilled. Like, you know, you don't see it. Like, we see so many drummers trying to be Travis Barker, and I don't know that I've ever seen a kid try to be so
Trey.
hard to be Trey Cool.
Yeah,
and it is grotesquely theatrical.
It's so funny. I love
This is definitely what I was like playing
shirt
drums.
too. Yeah, I was already thinking that's probably he has Future Sam energy. The uploader of this is named the Computer Nerd 529.
Yes.
And this
sick.
band is called Half Past Forever, which is so sick. And check out this comment from FOB593. Said, man, I love this. This shit rocks so hard. I love the drummer. He's really feeling it. Good singing and excellent guitar playing. Big props on playing and singing it at the same time. I'm still trying to learn that. And the bass play rocked it. Can't wait till I get my own band together. I mean, this one is just all good vibes.
Great job, y'all. Yeah, this is like just the friendship zone.
Imagine if you imagine the coolest punk guy you can think of, and then think of someone else, because it's not me I'm talking about. But imagine someone who's king of the scene punk guy, and you go to his house, and then he has the electric guitar chord chart on his wall in his bedroom.
You're like, you got to learn that shit somewhere.
It's true. Even he needed to learn that at one point.
That's it. We all started somewhere.
Okay, let's keep. My order got a bit screwed up. There might be more teen bands, or that might be. Oh no, here we go. Let's check out this one. This is called. This is Dead on Arrival, full band cover. I don't know if they're teens or. Yeah, here we go. I mean, this is just perfect. Wait, it's the same band. Oh my god, it's the same band. Half Past Forever.
Oh, so we got the practice video, and here we got them really ripping live. Are they bigger? They've grown.
Okay, wait. The Computer Nerd one was uploaded in 2011. This is also 2011.
That singer went through a growth spurt.
Wait, this says relay for
a foot taller.
Wait, it's the same uploader, but I'm confused now. This one says Relay for Life, and the other one says Half Past Forever. Maybe Relay for Life is the pro-life event that they're playing at here or something?
Yeah, for sure.
That's probably what it is.
Let's look up the Relay for Life. Let's see, the Relay for Life. No, it's for cancer. It's cancer. It's for cancer.
Okay.
Or it's for not cancer. So don't worry, this is not a pro-life team cover.
I don't know if you were away from the window for a second, but check this. A classic outdoor stage thing happens right now. My favorite thing that ever happens.
Someone walks across the... Yes!
When they do the half jog.
The sort of jog, someone's filming. Better jog. They jog back!
Wait, what the hell? What's he doing?
Do you have something to do over there? Is it going to come back again?
Man, no, it's such a bad guitar tone, but the song has that same kind of practice amp tone.
The guitar looks like one of those BC Rich.
Yeah, why is everyone playing the most ridiculous guitars today? Okay, let's check out this band, On Your Marks. This is more like it.
Oh, in a garage?
Now we're cooking.
You're in a in a storage unit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is like Fest vibes, but the High School movie version of Fest.
Yeah, see this.
Oh,
you can't argue with this.
This is.
Maybe Fall Out Boy is sick.
I mean, this is when a couple of those videos, I was like, oh, this is feels like the context that you're supposed to. This is how you're supposed to experience this band. This is from the last day of the Do You Even Lift tour.
I mean, how perfect was that?
Yeah.
This fucking rules.
I'm trying to see if I can find the tour routing for On Your Marks' Do You Even Lift tour, but it's not easy to find. This looks so
yeah. That part, and then the guitar solo, so sick. And it's funny, it's called the Do You Even Lift tour. That guy who did the guitar solo earlier definitely does lift. So here's another. I think I meant to play this one earlier. This is a guy. I think this is an a cappella guy doing maybe an audition or something.
I was sitting here making videos and texting a friend of mine, and she told me to do a shout out for her. So this is a shout out to one of my friends, Mackenzie Lure. So
shout out Mackenzie.
Here it is.
This is Richie Hershey uploaded this. The best alley ever also wants a shout out, Richie. This is from 10 years
Hope
ago.
it's not the last time. Yeah. Cause I never say no.
I love these kinds of videos.
This conversation.
They always have a cat meowing in the background.
Just a bit of a tender, tough guy vibe, you know?
Yeah, he's wearing like a jersey. He has a Yankees blanket in the background. I think he's wearing a giant chain, but it's hard to.
I know. I can't tell if it's the neck of the shirt or like.
He also covers Eminem. Oh, and he covers a deep hinder cut that I don't know if I've heard actually.
I love Hinder really got into Dry January.
Yeah. He's got drumming on his desk.
Songs you grow to like.
I hope Mackenzie likes this.
Yeah, I hope this
I'm
worked.
writing you a chorus, and here is your verse.
Yes.
Damn, bro.
Is he listening to the song? I don't see any headphones.
I think he's just thinking about it.
What's he doing right now? There's still a minute left.
Maybe-
I'm so.
Oh no, yeah, he does have a headphone. He is.
Cause I never say no to you.
It's
This
just the
conversation's
forehead right now.
Dead
You know
on
what I love is
arrival.
like, these days.
And there's no way
the internet is just
to
a wash in things where you're like, why did you put this online? Like, I feel like TikTok is a lot of things where I'm like, this is like an experience of you lip syncing or dancing along to a song that could have totally stayed in your bedroom. There's less of that the further you go back in time. And so these moments feel so precious. Where like, there's no reason this needed to be posted in a public forum. And I'm so glad that he did because it's beautiful.
The songs you
It's so good.
Never stick at first.
Never stuck at first.
Chorus, and here is your.
How's he going to
It
sign
seems
off?
to me like they meant to put on private, and then like the rest of the football team saw it, and he thought he was going to get bullied, but then
they're like, or everyone was bullying him, but then secretly after practice, someone was like, "Yo, Richie, that was actually dope, though."
yeah, exactly. It's all kind of good nature. Oh shit!
There was a
What's
funny
this?
reason I was going to play this after I was going to play it after the house show and then say, well, this is a house remix. That was going to be funny, but then I screwed up my order. So that's why we got Richie in there. But boy, I love Richie.
Okay.
This is the AKEX remix. Let's skip ahead, though. Maybe. Let's go.
Oh, what's up now?
What's going to happen? Methinks Lil Stumpy's going to make an appearance.
Oh yeah.
Yes. This is tight.
Oh, imagine you're at the club and this comes on, and you're rolling. Kind of wonder if you're hearing it correctly.
All of your friends are secretly have the sniffles and they won't tell you why.
Am I not being included?
You guys got COVID?
Yeah. I appreciate that it is so slow and thoughtful.
Yeah. So that's that one. Got a nice little palate cleanser. Let's see what else we got here. I feel like I've really fucked up the order. But here, let's check out.
I did that with the boy accosting them in the Tower Records.
With the boy. Here's the boy, Fall Out Boy. Christina Cuvion. It's the Telling Tales cover.
Hope this is the last.
What is that effect? That's like a real kind of baby's first Photoshop.
Oh yeah, it's like Corel Draw ass like neon
exactly.
painting outlines or something.
Yeah, it looks quite sick.
It's kind of vibey.
This works for me. I might tell people about Telling Tales.
This is uploaded like 3 months ago. What the hell?
Really?
That's
In
very
preparation
surprising.
In preparation for FOBruary.
Someone's been hacking our emails. So
yeah.
Sam and I were kind of negotiating FOBruary back in November.
Yeah. It was intense. For a minute, it looked like,
It looked like FOBruary was going to happen again, but Sam was like, God damn it, we need to do FOBruary. The numbers.
the churn.
But, I mean, that does actually sound really sick and contemporary, but the photo effect does not seem like it's from November of 2020.
That's what I don't understand. The photo effect feels very 15 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're kind of in this vibey section. Let's just quickly listen to the 8-bit one, just for fun. Why not? Okay. We're allowed to have fun on here, aren't we?
I think so. I've often thought that. Oh, yeah.
8-bit art on here, too.
Oh, I've missed the 8-bit covers.
This song is good.
I think so.
Just wait, you'll see.
Like, this is amazing.
I think the hits are good. I actually think the hits that you were shitting on earlier, I actually like them. I guess I'm just the nice one.
I think so. Man, I just don't like the dynamics. This is just perfect, though.
Yeah, it's so nice. So good.
It sounds exactly like Newfound Glory. Though,
okay, this is just drums and rhythm guitar, I think, is the vibe on this one.
Oh, okay.
But
it sounds like big business.
It's like acoustic guitar. I wrote down that this reminds me of the band Mice Parade. It had some real like.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. It's so sloppy, also.
Yeah, this is cool. This definitely feels like a Planet X record thing.
To me, I was thinking more like I can't remember. There was this band, not Ghost Mice, but Mice Parade. Was like I feel like I'm the only person who ever liked them that I've ever met. But then I found out that Wolf Parade hated them because they were so like soft, and that's why they decided to call their band Wolf Parade. It's like that they would eat Mice Parade.
That seems incredibly petty about an unpopular
this is like
electronica band according to Wikipedia.
Fat Cat Records.
That's a
type of shit. Yeah. While we were doing that, I was thinking that it actually was Mice Parade. I forgot that we're listening to just some total strangers from SoundCloud. Paulo Castro. I love this.
No, honestly,
that was cool.
I'm really worried that in classic Blink-152 style, I already love this song.
Well,
now.
it's about. I mean, check this one. That was just drums and acoustic guitar. This is just clarinet and bass. I guess playing over top of the actual track.
Oh, I think it's a guitar. Guitar clarinet. Okay.
It's uploaded by BEA. That's a great name.
I prefer the clarinet to Patrick Stump.
Oh, absolutely. So good.
I really think it's possible that the only thing I don't like about this is Patrick Stump.
No one ever does clarinet with this kind of stuff. I love it.
Yeah, this is like, it's not sax, it's not like violin. I expect trumpet before I'd expect clarinet.
Yeah. Oh, back to guitar. Oh yeah, there is guitar. You're right. It's guitar, clarinet, and bass.
Yeah.
So shout out B, who seems to have a very robust bunch of Fall Out Boy covers on SoundCloud.
And are they all clarinet forward?
No. There's like normal. There's even a normal cover of this one, but I don't want to ruin this great vibe we have going right now, so I don't want to play it. But okay, 2 left, and then we'll share our final thoughts before the guests. But this one I'm so excited. So this is a Dead on Arrival Screamo cover, but it's a Screamo cover made by what looks like a little kid. I think.
Oh yeah.
This is from 2011. This is uploaded by Movie Man 1222. I was bored and sick.
That feels like a fake username from a movie, right?
Yeah. I was bored and sick. I really like the song, so I tried to do Screamo with it. I think it came out great. I don't know. I need you guys to comment. Tanks. And people are being really mean to this little child.
Oh.
But, Movie Man 122, I think you've nailed it. So, Sam, why don't you check this out and see what you think for...
Hey, guys. Local cover of Our Boy Dead on Arrival.
I feel like Movie Man is maybe
singing.
14?
Max, yeah.
So, yeah, here we go.
They got a very punk peace poster in the back, like spray painted. Oh, I'm really excited about this.
You ready? Yeah, you're ready. Well, this is
Yes.
Don't ever say no to you. This conversation's been
Dead on Arrival.
Yes.
Yeah. See, this is what the song should sound like.
This conversation's been
Dead on Arrival.
It's kind of like Venom, like the two voices are battling.
Yeah, this is better than Venom.
Over you, this is side one. Flip me
Growl again. Do it again.
Right now I'm my
Favorite record.
with the sounds you grow like never stick at first.
It's so good, Movie Man. You rule.
Yeah, here is
Verse.
Ahem. Ahem. Just getting comfortable there while we... Yeah, there we go.
Oh, cool punk
The
bracelet.
long instrumental is tough for everyone.
Warming up.
Here we go.
not the last time. Cause I'll never say
No.
this conversation.
Dead on Arrival.
Fuck yes. Dead on Arrival.
I mean, that makes me love the song more, but this one sealed the deal for me. This is Lauren and Sarah, just a pair of, I think, teens covering Dead on Arrival. I mean, you're not going to survive this one, Sam. I'm just telling you right now.
All right.
Just the camera pointed up at the ceiling, vibrating on the bed. They're clearly just trying to get...
Oh, come on.
Like, every second chord is incorrect.
This is beautiful. This is better than Bob Dylan. Like, this is folk music. Oh my God, come on.
It's the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
This is like...
Yeah, it's very folk music just to be playing like...
Yeah, like just kind of sing whatever over it. The freewheeling Pete Wentz.
I'm kind of just blown away by how good it is. This is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble turning it off. I'm just
No,
so...
why would we stop it? I mean, it's almost done. Oh my God.
So I thought we could let the Vitamin String Quartet play in the background.
Oh.
We could do some final thoughts on the song. I mean...
Sorry, I had that cranked because I was loving it so much. So what? What were you saying?
I thought we just let the Vitamin Quartet version play while we share our final thoughts on the song. I mean, I think I love it now. I think there's no... Sometimes I wonder if maybe we just hate things because we've never actually listened to them.
I mean, I listened to that song several times today.
It's true, but once you go through, it's hard to go through the entire tour of YouTube and kind of be a voyeur and still escape not liking the song. I mean, I'm won over. It's too good.
You know, I think like what's so effective about these covers, and especially like these covers, not just a lot of covers, but like the selection that you curated here, is that it so effectively telegraphs the feeling of collective nostalgia that like gives these bands their power. And when you're on the outside of it, I mean, at its worst, it's alienating, but sometimes it's just like, it's very easy to not give a shit. And this is like a sort of speed run in developing nostalgia for a song because we're watching like, you can really understand what it means to all these people in this context. And you strip away your own biases and you listen to the 8-bit cover, you just hear the melody and you're like, yeah, fuck me, this rocks.
Exactly.
I am forced to correct the record, say that Fall Out Boy rules.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if we make it through the month.
Here is your weekly Wednesday fact. Rihanna and Fall Out Boy famously performed live at the 2007 VMAs. There's lots of photos of them that regularly go viral on the internet in rehearsals and performing and stuff. But Pete and Rihanna actually first met in 2004, and he told her that he was going to be releasing his own rap album, and he alleges that every time they've crossed paths since, she genuinely asks him about it. Wednesday fact.
We are now joined by Jamie Coletta from No Earbuds. Jamie Coletta from No Earbuds. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm great. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you. You know what? No one asks. No one,
That's
no one cares.
unfortunate.
I know it's tough. I was excited to talk to you because I feel like you and I have very similar musical interests, mostly because you are responsible for at one point signing or at some point, you know, helping to spread the word about like every band that I like. So it sort of makes sense that I think the Venn diagram of our interests is like two just concentric circles.
Yes, it's true. And I feel sort of like you say it's like all these bands that you like that I'm responsible for, but it's like, no, those are all the ones that I like too. Like, it's just like, I have just pulled a fast one on everybody and I'm just picking the stuff I like and you're all listening. So it's great. It's been fun.
You've nailed it for sure. You kind of own like an entire niche or like subgenre in punk these days.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's like there's no proper word for it. It's just a certain corner of the room. You know, we're all in the same boat, I guess, and we all like the same stuff. And it's been really fun to be a part of. So,
have you tried to terminologize what
come up with like a name for it?
It's not working. It's not working. Because I mean, on some level, I think some of it's like, you know, someone like Jeff, let's say, it's like fest punk, but like that does not.
That doesn't really even work.
Not anymore, and it certainly doesn't encompass, I think, the breadth of what you do. So, have you tried like to come up with a cool core name or something?
Not really. I don't really have like a great one word kind of term, but I've definitely I feel like it's indie punk is like something I've used before because there are like punk things in it, but it's not punk, and there's indie stuff in it, but it doesn't fit with indie, and it's like its own little thing. You know what's so funny? Did you see during the Spotify Wrapped that term that came up, bubble grunge? No. I swear to okay, so everybody right around when Spotify Wrapped dropped their their end of the year thing of like where the algorithm like invades your personal space and tells you what you like and what you don't like. Everybody's sharing it, and everybody was getting this your top genres, and this word bubble grunge kept coming up, and people were like, what the fuck is bubble grunge? And then I'm looking at these playlists, Sam, and I was like, oh my god, did I invent bubble grunge?
Holy shit. Okay, so we should start this again at the beginning. I'm speaking to Jamie Coletta, inventor of bubble grunge.
Isn't that crazy? Like low key, I was just like looking at it and I was like, this is like, granted, there was some stuff that's not like directly correlated to what I do, but it was just so close to it that I was like, huh, okay. they came up with a name for it. I don't love it, but it's like they got a great one word name for it, but it definitely felt a little eerie looking at their like they have like a This Is Bubble Grunge playlist, and I was like, this is my playlist.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be honest, I'm an Apple Music user, and that is
that's fine. That's
because
great.
I've taken a brave stand against disinformation, not for any other reasons of convenience or simply just historical usage. It's a principled decision that I have made, and they have the kind of Jamie Coletta playlist,
Negative Space.
Yeah, which is basically all of the bands that you work with,
literally
also in one space, like completely, right?
But can I tell you though, like Apple is so much cooler about it. Like
sick.
They don't really like, yeah, I look at that playlist sometimes and I'm like, oh wow, they add everything I work on to this playlist.
But you've got taste, you've got taste.
Yeah, they're cool to me. They're friendly and like they're good people, no shade to like Spotify's like individuals in there because I don't know them all, but I will say like I remember back at my, I used to work at Side One Dummy, and when we were there, coworker of mine and we set up a whole dinner with Spotify. We straight up pitched them an idea to create a new playlist under the punk section, and give us our own space, because we were working with people like Jeff Rosenstock and AJJ and Chris Farron and just things that did not fit in any of their other existing categories. But they were substantial, and there was a community behind it, and we really believed in it. And we put this whole presentation together. They never said shit. They never did shit. 8 years later, bubble grunge. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's pretty clear. It's
pretty obvious.
Yeah, I haven't seen that term, but I guess they're trying to kind of do what they did with hyperpop, which is, does Spotify have the muscle to fence off and define a nebulous, partially online community? Mm-hmm. Like, can you do that again? That's really interesting.
Right. Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't heard much, I haven't seen it too much since then, but it was just like everybody had it on there. Like if you listen to any of these artists, it was on your Spotify Wrapped, and it was like, where did this name come from and why does it feel so familiar? It's very funny. But
well, here's what I think is so interesting about this. We like all the same things. I do not like the band Fall Out Boy.
At any era. You don't like them at any era.
No, I like individual songs.
Okay.
I think that Sugar We're Going Down is like an all-time pop song.
Classic, yeah.
I think the song that we are talking about this week, Dead on Arrival, is like pretty good. It's got some like cool moments, but by and large as a band, they've never done anything for me. I actually love a lot of the big, like really grotesque pop songs. I think when they embraced that was interesting to me. But Fall Out Boy has always kind of been this band that a lot of people whose opinions I otherwise respect. It implies that I don't respect liking Fall Out Boy, but opinions who otherwise I feel like so closely mirror my own have gravitated towards in a really extreme way. And you are someone that I know really was into at least some of those earlier Fall Out Boy records. So what is your relationship to this band? Like, when did you hear them? Did they define an era of your life? Like, what is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, tell me about how Fall Out Boy defines an era in Jamie Coletta's life, from bubblegum grunge inventor Jamie Coletta.
Yeah, I really, really feel like it. And in preparation for chatting with you, I definitely went back and I listened to that first record, and I was just like, holy shit, like this was my high school. Like I couldn't tell you what year because I don't remember, but it was like, I remember certain lyrics would just jump out at me and I was just like, oh my God, like I can feel myself in my childhood bedroom, like scribbling these lyrics into my notebook and stuff. And just like, I don't know, it was just a certain time in my life where I was like angsty for no real reason. And here's this band singing about like, if you caught on fire, I wouldn't piss to put you out. And I was like, yeah, like, holy shit. Yeah. Say it. Tell them. I don't know. It was just like, it was the right level of like, I'm coming from like, listening. My first concert was probably like a radio concert my mom took me to. So it was like coming from like pop, right. And listening to like being a part of like the whole boy band movement, because I was a preteen when it was all happening and just really getting swept up in that. Then I start slowly kind of finding my way into like the first thing I heard was like a Newfound Glory record my sister liked. And like by default, I was like, well, I can't like it if she likes it. So I think this is lame. But then I was like, it's kind of good. And I'm going to see if I can find anything similar to it so I can have my own thing. And, you know, Fall Out Boy was one of those first bands that I got super into that she did not like from that scene. And I was like, cool, I fucking love this shit. Like,
that's the most like sibling ass decision making when it comes to your interests. Like that it's partially what you gravitate towards on this, like, you know, spiritual, just emotional level. And part of it is like, fuck you.
Yeah. Like, okay,
I'm separating my identity from yours.
Yeah. And like the same vibe was like our two like bedroom doors across from one another. One of them is decked out in NSYNC and one of them is decked out Backstreet Boys. And it's like, no, your band sucks. Like, it just was like, it was born to be that way with us, but it was just more like,
that's amazing. They
were just also, Fall Out Boy kind of came from a little bit of a harder background, I guess. So to me, I sort of felt cooler listening to them. Like they weren't like, it wasn't all cheesy stuff. It was like a little heavier at times. And like, there was just like, for me, it was a lot about the wordplay and how they put like the way that album specifically was just so sassy. And I just like really, really liked that. And I liked like metaphors and like, but not in a way that I felt like I had to be this like genius to understand, you know. I was like, I really loved the way they like put that record together. And like listening back to it, a lot of it's not great, you know, like listening back, I'm like, oh wow, like there could have been so many improvements, but it was just like, it's just a time in life, you know. And I feel like I was just the right kind of like angsty suburban teenage age that like it just clicked for me. And for all those, you know, the reasons that I said, it was just like they made me feel cool, you know. And it was the first band I could like truly get obsessed with. Now to say that though, I have not stayed with their career. Like I think I was only around for like 3 records and then it was done for me. But that Take This to Your Grave was just like that whole, and Dead on Arrival, you know, it's funny, is like one of my least favorite songs on the record. But
how come?
I don't know, I couldn't tell you. But you know, it's funny, in like sort of just like reading up on that era a little bit just to kind of get myself in the headspace, I was reading that might have been a song where like the writing and good, like the lyric writing was done by somebody different at the time. I don't remember, but I was like, something about that song doesn't grab me like the other ones do. Maybe because it's a little bit more general. It's not like as kind of witty as the other ones, but I like, there's something about that one I can feel like, not my favorite on that record.
That's, you know, that's fair. When we were kind of picking songs for this month, I was like, okay, well, we got to do something from this era, from this album. And I feel like the hit is kind of Grand Theft Autumn. Like I remember from friends I had that were into this record. I was like, okay, we'll do that. And I put it on and I was like, I can't talk about this song for like 2 hours. Like I just can't do it. It like makes my skin crawl. Like it's too earnest. And I think there's something also to like the age difference here, because I was in university when this came out. And so it's not that I liked quote unquote harder or cooler music. Like I mean, my tastes have always been quite bad. But you know, there was just something.
Own it, dude. You just gotta
exactly.
Own
like at some point, you're like, well, it's not going to get better. Like I'm not going to get older and be like, oh, I love like, you know, krautrock now. It's like it just didn't happen for me, and that's fine. But there was something about the hard on sleeve that like was, and even though it was sort of couched in this clever kind of the wordplay, which I think is like such an interesting integral part of this band, it was just like somehow too earnest for me, because I had been probably obsessed with bands that were deeply and profoundly earnest in the 5 years leading up to that moment. And I was like, no, I just stopped listening to Dashboard Confessional. I can't have anything this just emotional in my life at this. I'm at capacity on it, but
I feel that.
But it's interesting that this song was just like, did not kind of do it for you. But in general, like, despite moving on from the band, do you go back to it ever? Like once a year, do you put this record on to like tap into that kind of high school Jamie vibe?
Definitely. I have a handful of playlists that I keep that are like, just for that, for what I want, like just an overview of that time. But yeah, this record specifically, Take This to Your Grave, I definitely listen to it easily more than once a year. It's just one of those things where like, it's nice to have something you can go to where you're like, it's one of those things where they say with like friends, like, oh, I don't have to see them for years and we hang out. It's like we never miss each other. It's literally like that with records like this, where I can put it on and be like, oh shit, it's going down. I'm fucking in my office just jamming to this stuff. And it's like no time has passed. It's awesome.
That absolutely rules. And did you have friends that were into it?
Sam, if a band came to me professionally with this record, I'd be like, I gotta think about this.
You'd be like, yeah, look at my, how much do I need this money?
Right. Yeah. Like, what's the budget?
And did you have, so you picked this band because your sister didn't like them, but did you have other friends that were into this, or was this sort of like your thing in high school? Like, did this allow you to like connect with like a wider community at all, coming out of like a boy band obsession?
Yeah, definitely. I did not have any friends that listen to this stuff. Confidently did not have any friends. But I kind of became the person. I always had my little headphones in. And what I used to do was I would keep notebooks with me at all times. And I loved to doodle lyrics and like one-liners kind of that I could pull out of these songs that really like stood out to me. And I would like doodle them while I was in class. And so I was like always with this notebook covered in lyrics with gel pens and shit. Like,
oh my God, it's like a movie.
Oh, dude. Yeah. And it's like, I still have some of them. I thank God, didn't lose all of them, but like, I'll totally send you some screenshots, dude. It's hilarious.
If you can, it would be, I feel like that could go along with sharing this episode is some of your gel pen notebooks with Fall Boy lyrics. Like, please do.
I'm putting it on my to-do list right now, dude. Yeah, like I was just like always, I had my, iPod Classic was, when I was in high school that came out. And, you're always like looking for my shit on there. And like, oh man, if somebody wanted to sit with me in the locker room, I would play them anything. I'd be like, oh, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. Like that was just me, like that was such my jam. And like, I didn't have any like musical gifts, like I wasn't like playing in the band. I was in the choir, but that was like, everybody did something like that. Like, it doesn't mean I could sing, but it was like
the standards were often low in high school for the choir.
Very low. I should have known when they gave me, we did like a rendition of Sweeney Todd and they were like, do you want to play the voice of the witch? I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, that's interesting.
It's like, okay, I guess that says something about my voice, but
rude, but fine.
I'm like, okay. But yeah, so I was just like, I just kind of I threw myself into this world, so to speak. It was, the heyday of My Chemical Romance and Paramore and Blink and Pig Mac Sunday, all that shit, and it was just like the heyday of it all happening right then and there. So I just like, once I could kind of find my way in, it was like, oh my God, I must have had a new band I loved every week. Like I used to make mix CDs, and that was like, I'd always have like the huge stacks full of these mixes with the songs I was obsessed with at the moment. And like, I was downloading them off of Kazaa. I was just like, oh my God, I was living it up. I had the 6 CD changer in my car.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, dude. I had 6 mixes right there, all different moods. Like, oh my God. It was just like, I just really like, once I found it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, yes, like, this is what I love. I just love, I'm not like, I like some heavier stuff for sure. And I like some softer stuff for sure, but it's not the like same for me, especially during that time when I was really like you said, coming out of like a boy band obsession and moving into this, it kind of just felt adjacent in a way. And it felt like the same kind of obsession hit, but it was just like, it wasn't because I found like, boy bands are just like you're a preteen and there's cute guys singing to you. That's all it is. But it's perfect. But when I got into this kind of stuff, it was more just like feeling, it's funny, for as toxic as a lot of these bands turned out, I still felt like I had found my place, it still gave me sort of like the purpose I had been like needing, it gave me like my thing, which I was like, oh my God, I can just be into music forever. This is sick. Like this is my jam.
And it's worked out for you pretty well.
I'm doing fine. It's been quite a while and I'm still here and I'm still rocking. So it really did. It kind of like set me on my course and, it's crazy. Yeah. So revisiting these records, I try to do it often because it just kind of brings me back to that like genuineness of like, oh no, I just do this because I fucking love this music. And this is awesome. I can still have these records and I'm working some of them today. I'm working records that I know I'm going to listen to forever. And like, that's so cool. So
yeah, that rules.
Worked out.
And during like your particular sort of like initial obsession with Fall Out Boy, did you get to see them play live?
I'm sure I had. Oh my God. I'm sure I couldn't tell you how many times. I'm sure I saw them anytime they came through. I definitely remember like that was like Honda Civic Tour, Warped Tour, like all that shit. I live in Rhode Island.
What was the Honda Civic Tour again? Because that was like every fucking band. Did Boys Night Out play the Honda Civic Tour?
That sounds super familiar. Yeah, that's what they did.
Because I've heard from like Boys Night Out were sort of like a very sick Southern Ontario kind of like, you know, emo-y punk.
Oh, I loved them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were fucking awesome. But I have a friend of mine who's like, no, Pete Wentz is like the nicest dude in the world. Like if I'm in LA, I can still stay at his house. And he was like the merch guy.
Oh my God, I love that.
Nothing but nice. The Honda Civic Tour, a real defining moment in a lot of people's lives.
There was that one, and there was a couple of different tours like that were just like branded, you know, and like they leaned into the emo thing, and it was so cool. It was just like
calling it the Honda Civic Tour. You had like the Pop Disaster Tour that was like Blink and Green Day and like these other things. And then you just get into this era where it's literally like the rock star energy drink tour.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I mean, I guess take the guesswork out of it. Why not?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so I'm looking at it in 2007. There was Fall Out Boy, The Academy Is, and Cobra Starship.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there was a Paramore one. They were doing that for a minute. Newfound Glory. Yeah. Oh my God, crazy.
And
what a time.
You mentioned you were, doing some prep for this interview, and I saw on Twitter that you were preparing. You shared a very important question that it seems like a lot of people on Google have asked, but not the answer. And so I'd like to ask you, here, how did the members of Fall Out Boy die?
Oh my God, how did they die? I don't know. I feel like
how was that like a top result for Fall Out Boy?
I was like, wait, what? It was like a suggested question, and I was like, did they die?
They seem pretty healthy.
Conspiracy theory. They seem okay, but how did they die? I don't know. They probably tried to do some EDM shit at some point, and they were at a rave, and some shit went down. That's how they die. I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah, projecting your final fantasying or final destinationing the members of Fall Out Boy.
Yes. Never do more. Like stop with the dance hits. I don't know. That's me being like my old ass poser shit where I'm like, no, play the old stuff. You know?
Less songs with rappers on them. And then you're like, wait, actually, these songs with rappers on them fucking rock.
Oh my God. There's rappers on their songs now. That's the thing. I don't know.
It's too crazy. And like, when you grew out of them, was it just like the natural progression of your taste? Did you have I'm moving on from Fall Out Boy kind of moment that is your schism with this band's discography?
I think I think all the way up until probably Infinity on High. There was a record that at some point came out where there were less songs. No, it was after this. I'm looking through discography. Yeah, it was like after Infinity on High was the last one I loved. I think that was their third studio record. And then after that, I think is when they kind of like went into that whole like hiatus mode, and then they came back and they were doing these big pop songs, and it was like all of a sudden this thing that felt like to me was smaller and like something that was like attainable for me to be a part of suddenly felt like it was really, really out of my reach, both like sonically and just like in that kind of back part of my mind of me looking at my future and like, what can I do with my life? It suddenly felt like, oh, wait a minute, this is like pop now? Like, oh, and I just felt disconnected from, and for me, that's sometimes like, it's not like me thinking people sell out, because that's not the case. It's just like, there's sometimes when there's a ton of talk about something, it tends to scare me, I'll get turned off by too much hype in the wrong places. And so that I think happened to me at some point with that. And at the same time, you're growing up, you're discovering new stuff. Like, I think when they started to make that pop switch, like I had already found the Wonder Years at that point, like I had new things that I was kind of latching onto and becoming obsessed with. So it just was easier to let things go that didn't feel right anymore. And I think that's all it was. Like, granted, I could probably go to those records and probably love them. I just don't know. I just, at some point it switched off for me, and, I wish them the best. I think they're doing okay without me though. It's okay.
You know what? I mean, they probably miss you, but it seems like, you haven't hurt their career too much.
Yeah. I think, they're not thinking about me. It's all good.
Which of the bands that you work with do you think is the biggest Fall Out Boy fans, would you say?
I know one person in a band I worked with years ago that is definitely the biggest Fall Out Boy fan I know. That's Tommy McPhail from the band Dollar Signs. I'm gonna tell Tommy I did this when it comes out. So Tommy, hello. Tommy's the biggest Fall Out Boy fan I know. Easy. And
so what's up, Tommy?
Tommy, what's going on? Tommy's probably like, how can you not like the new stuff? Like Tommy's probably freaking out.
He's
right
yelling
now.
at his phone right now.
For real. But yeah, I think, and as far as like other bands, I mean, I think everybody had probably at some point, a lot of the bands I work with probably have moments just like mine, because I feel like I gravitate a lot towards people that are like me. So a lot like, and not every case, but a lot of the artists I work with, we have like similar things in common as far as like who we are and how we came up. So I would not be surprised if a lot of them were Fall Out Boy fans.
I think it's probably a fair assessment. Jamie, I really appreciate your time. This is, of course, the prestigious moment in a podcast where you get to plug yourself or whatever you want. Where can people find you? What should people do to consume more of your particular brand of bubblegum grunge?
Oh no. Yeah. No worries. You can just find us anywhere at No Earbuds. That's on wherever you are online. That's where I am. And subscribe to the mailing list. When I post that I love a song and I think you guys would like it, listen to it, share it, and just like don't stop checking new stuff out. That's all you got to do to help me out. So
hell yeah. Thank you.
Sam.
Thank you, Jamie.
The Complaint Department. 155 Podcast.
The Complaint Department. 155 Podcast.
The Complaint Department. 155 Podcast.
It's the Complaint Department. It's a way for people to air their grievances with us and kind of be heard and be listened to. It's the first time we've had a repeat complainer. So if someone else wants to complain, complaints at 155pod.com, send them in, audio or text. We just, attach your name to it. And this person has attached their name to it. It's the foul presence, Seamus, back again to shame us, I guess. Here's what Seamus has to say.
Hey, it's Seamus again. I know that dry January is quote unquote over. What the fuck happened to True Till Death? What the fuck happened to Unity? What the fuck is wrong with you? You've betrayed the scene for the last time.
Look, Seamus.
Wow. Oh, wow. I mean, I knew it was coming. We knew when we were brave enough to sort of make a change in our life and start talking about Fall Out Boy that this complaint was headed our way.
I like the idea of it's not about sobriety. It's about like admitting that it's not January anymore. It was a fucked up thing to do.
That's the betrayal. If it's not January now, it never was.
But seriously, Seamus, stop talking to us, okay?